Hello, everyone. Want to welcome to another edition of the Smart Office podcast. Today we have Ajee Ibraheem. Um, he's here today. He's the principal operator. He's going to introduce himself to B2B Matrix. He's going to introduce himself to us, and we're going to have an exciting time listening to what they have. And he's going to talk about B2B Matrix in a little bit more details and what they do. And then we're going to go from there. Hello, Ajay. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you
Yeah,
today. Very excited.
thank you so much.
Gonna have a good time together talking about what you guys are doing, what you guys are up to. I
Right,
was on your website. I mean, it sounds very interesting. There's lots of things
right,
going on. There's a lot of change happening today.
right, right.
So why don't you let us know a little bit about yourself and your current position with B2B Matrix?
Sure. So currently, a total of close to nine plus years of working experience, and I have worked across different domains such as healthcare, e-commerce, banking, and stuff.
Right.
So the current products that we do is around Salesforce. So we
Okay.
deliver a product that we have built in house that is basically a QLE plus editor on top of Salesforce. So it could be
Right.
used as a plugin. It has AI related features for generating quotes, sales leads, and
Wow.
also a lot of like really good stuffs in it. And
Hmm.
we also give customized solutions for the businesses. So we do have like other products that are like onto AI related that are also focused on CRM, Salesforce, and a little bit of Congo CPQ and stuffs like that.
Right. Wow, that's cool. I mean, I understand you are the principal software engineer with B2B
Right.
Matrix, but for listeners who may not know B2B Matrix yet, and how would you describe what you do in probably one or two sentences?
So B2B Matrix, I would say it's a company where we deliver efficient products that are built
Right.
across Salesforce. So we give a very customized solution on Salesforce, like a product. So
Right.
the one of the products that we do is like QLE Plus. It is an extension on QLE. So it
Right.
gives you a more, I would say, flexibility to basically streamline your code generation, lead generation, and a few more custom integrations that
Hmm.
exceeds the general limitations of Salesforce. So that is one of the key projects that we
Hmm.
like developed with Salesforce.
Right. Wow. Okay. So what inspired B2B Matrix and how long has it been in the market? And what gap probably did you see in the market that made you start B2B Matrix?
So B2B Matrix and this has been in the market for almost like close to like 15 years and plus
Wow. Right.
altogether. So
Hmm.
the founders have almost like 30 years of experience. It's more like a flat hierarchy.
Right.
And the like-minded people like who are enthusiastic and I would say developing any products uh, and like fellow developers. So we had a common mindset of delivering something of quality and
Right.
also solving industrial problems more efficiently.
Right.
So I would say get into B2B metrics.
Wow, that's so for just to follow up on that, I mean,
Uh-huh.
with everything that is going on now in the world and everything, what gap did you see in the market that what are some of the gaps that you saw that the guys are fixing to this world?
So one of the main things that we are trying to fix is we are trying to give like a customized solution that is incorporating all the tools that a company
Hmm.
uses. So today,
Right.
if you see most of the enterprise level, even like medium enterprise, even a small scale startup, they rely on like 20 to 15 tools day to day.
Hmm.
So we tried
Right.
to solve that by integrating it on an AI native level. So that is one of the customized solution that we deliver as a company. And not just that, the complexity of tracking all this, I would say 20 to 15 applications is extremely hard. You
Right.
have to pay the subscriptions. You have to basically
Oh, tell me
maintain
about
them.
that.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah,
lot of
but
reporting generated for each and every tools usage. That's
exactly.
that's going to be really hectic. So we even give them a streamlined approach on the uh, on creating tools that are like more unified for such kind of processes as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite a bit right there. Now, I mean, you're
Yeah.
perfectly right on that. So let's go a little bit deeper. What is the
Uh-huh.
core B2B companies? What is the core problem like B2B companies face today? Further, like, what's the
Uh-huh.
core problem that B2B companies face today
So
in terms of
I would
maybe
say,
outbound lead generation or whatever it is that you may deal with?
right. So on that, so right now, what we try to kind of provide on top of like the traditional lead generation applications that are available is
Right,
we try to integrate a flexible customer related requirement on top of it.
right.
Not every tool has a business rule that is built in for you. So we
Mm-hmm.
kind of try to tweak in the tool that we have in house to give the customer a more flexible business related rule for lead generation. So
Right,
if they have a specific I would say requirement for using it in a logistic or a supply chain business. So we have our in-house tool that we basically modify according to their needs and stuff so they can use it so flexibly. Not just that, we do also kind of try to give all the reports in one go, like in one place, rather than they're using like multiple platforms or multiple places where they generate their revenue or they track their
right.
usage and stuff. So we are trying to eliminate those and give them like a very clean, I would say, an implementation for such kind of an approach.
Okay, so that gives like trying to combine those things, make it easier for them to navigate through the system. But
Yes.
how does B2B Matrix solve? How is it different from other standard agencies like SDR teams or things like that?
Right, exactly.
How are they different?
So lot of CRMs that you have that are like traditionally using
Right.
doesn't have any native support for any kind of like a related stuff or like right away for any report generation stack.
Mm-hmm.
So you would need to, I would say you would need to most probably try to rely on any kind of like a third party integration, or
Right.
you need to somewhere need to create an ETL pipeline for such kind of report. So whatever the data your business is generating or your leads are generating, so you know the data is there, but you
Right.
need to step that out. You need to process the data.
Mm-hmm.
You need to streamline the data, create basically a data warehouse or a data stream, and then you have to send it for a reporting to customize that reporting and try to put an insight out of it. So what we do is we try to solve that problem right away on the CRM that they are using. If it's Salesforce, if it's Conga CPQ, or even
Mm-hmm.
any other Salesforce, any other I would say integration that they have. So we have a native tool that can like seamlessly work with them. And not just that, so even some business are still generating their reports on Excels and Google Sheets still.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we have a related implementation on those by which their Excel sheet itself will be using our native AI application for all
Wow.
their trackings and changes. So that is something I would say is a breakthrough for a lot of businesses today, because they spend like hours decoding all the business rules to convert into a system. So we give them like a upper hand in that, where they can transform their already existing Excels or Google Sheets into like a steady forward business, I would say, implementation.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are changing now. What would be like a successful client for you for B2B? What would be look like for a B2B matrix? Like a very successful would look like for you guys.
So we have solved so many problems for a lot of clients. Always they would say the clients that we get, most probably they would tell us like, "Hey, I wish I'd have known this a couple of months before or a year before, because we've been like brainstorming on this problem for a long time."
Right.
So we have like a lot of clients such as entity data. So we do have customized solution that we delivered for entity data. So
Mm-hmm.
they had a limitation on the code generation for Salesforce. Only Salesforce was kind of had a limitation to generate close to 10,000 codes, and then they would have problems. But we bypassed that limitation with our QLE plus editor. So we gave them an option to even generate close to 50,000 code lines, even
Right.
embed them also. So that is something we did as a breakthrough for them. And few more other clients. So we did for coastal a similar implementation. So they had all their systems built on Excel reporting. So we kind of integrated our AI related engines in their Excel. So they were basically, once they upload those into Salesforce, Salesforce will also have this, and our AI is also systems also will track all the changes in the Excel and integrate that seamlessly into their Salesforce. So those are the products that we are building as of
Okay.
now.
Wow. Sounds good. So, to our listeners, I just want to
Uh-huh.
remind them that you are the principal software developer at B2B Matrix.
Yeah.
And I just want to find out from you, what does your role as a principal software developer at B2B Matrix really involve? What are you really involved in?
Right.
How do you perform your day-to-day business
Right.
or activity?
So basically, since we are a flat hierarchy structure, so I do regularly involve in the business meetings with the clients to understand their business better, to
Okay.
improve their workflows, optimize them, and get their requirements.
Hmm.
And not just, we don't stop just there. We try to proactively improve our pipeline, improve our processes over time,
Hmm.
and see wherever we can optimize cost for any kind of workflow that we create, or any kind of process that we develop for any clients. And not just that, I do have like a team of developers that I mentor, that I do periodically touch up with them to see
Right.
any kind of problems, if they're facing any problems or bottlenecks, and even mentor them if there is any kind of like a production related query fixes, or
Hmm.
any production related failures. I do try to jump in and optimize them. So those are the
Oh,
things I do day to
that's
day as a principal developer there.
wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about technical and engineering down the line, but from an engineering perspective, what is
Uh-huh.
probably the biggest technical challenge in building these automated outbound systems today? How
So
do you see how things are moving?
the biggest challenge that we faced was, see, the solutions that we were trying to see was not available natively. It was not as if like I can just like that create it and a go. So there were a lot of technical hiccups when we came up with
Right,
creating such solutions. Creating it as a product was even more challenging because it has to
right.
adopt for your clients as you grow. So we came up with the CPQ standards,
Hmm.
like basically we implemented to the architecture of the native CPQ models and stuff, so it would be very seamless to integrate to any systems whatsoever. And we also gave customization on top of our implementation, so the user can have the customer can have control rather than
Right.
we do. So
Mhm.
they will have more control with the tool than us, I would say. And it doesn't stop there. Since I was talking more on the AI stuff that we were trying to implement on the solution. So we kind of created agentic creation. So we
Right, right.
created separate agents for the
Yeah.
process that we developed on it. So we have created all those using GCP,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are in Claude, and few more are using GPT-4,
Right.
GPT-5.
Okay.
So this is like a multi-client level architecture, like I would
Right.
say multi-agent architecture. And not just that, we constantly try to streamline this process, try to write more agents, optimize those agents more, try to reduce the usage of how the like the agents are like basically handling
Mm-hmm.
all the datas, how we want to minimize the usage of the infra and maximize the usage of the output or the reports that we are generating. So we are constantly improving on those pipelines as
That's cool. Just to build on that from your
well.
perspective,
Uh-huh.
what tools, libraries, or cloud service are, are essential for your team? What are some of these tools that you use that are
So,
essential?
so we use GCP as our primary stack
Right.
for all our infra related stuff. So we use LangChain as a framework on top of those,
Right.
and we use Python databases for few of the stores that we use, data stores, and for any kind of reporting. So it could be done on their own CRM, so Salesforce or Conga, so they can have an idea. But if they want to segregate, if they want to do if they have any different platform where they want to generate any reports on their whole integration, so we
Right.
can also we do also provide a way to do that also, to seamlessly integrate that into any kind of their stores. Let's say if they want to integrate into Redshift,
Right.
or if they want to move to Databricks, also we can facilitate with them those
Wow,
kind of
that's good.
implementations.
So
Yeah,
this, I mean, we're now in the age of cloud technology, AI. How do
yeah,
you see this conglomerate, or how things are coming into place? These companies that either want to work with GCP,
yeah,
AWS, Azure. Those are some of the key principal
right.
blocks of public cloud that's out there. Although we have others that are coming strongly behind, and
Mhm.
people are having building in-house cloud environments. But what's the choice? What kind of advice would you give a company on which cloud, public cloud, to use? Some of them use a hybrid, sometimes a combination
Right,
of GCP, AWS, Azure, just depends.
right, right.
But what would you advise, or what is your take on which one to use?
Right. So I would be open for a very straightforward reason. That is, I would be open for a public cloud in terms, even in terms of like hosting, because maintaining a hybrid setup or in-house setup is very expensive. You need like
Right.
data architects, data warehouse managers, and
Mhm.
like the server maintenance people to routinely do all the checkups for you. And in this era, I would say, of cloud, you can customize what you pay. So
Yeah.
the essential of using a cloud is like pay as per you use. So
Mhm.
even if you move to any kind of like a cloud environment, even if it's AWS, GCP, or Azure, so you do still have the upper hand in maintaining the security
Right.
and the stuffs for your infra for your company. So you can implement strict guidelines,
Mhm.
strict, I would say, auditing, strict, I would say, policies enforced for your users that you do. And
Right.
I would say not just stop there. Try to set up a few, I would say, security measures like user monitoring,
Right.
heuristics of the user. If your business has been, if it's a most customer facing business, make sure it is more bot proof or AI proof. Get systems that are like more security related on those fronts as well.
Right.
I would personally say that the industry is changing in this era totally.
Right.
Or we can say this, before AI and after AI, the industry is changed a lot today. I would
Right.
I would say,
Now things are
yeah.
changing rapidly. There's rapid change in the industry.
True, true.
And so before we dive to another topic, how do you decide which cloud provider to use? Let's say
Uh-huh.
the three for people. A lot of people may not know,
Uh-huh.
but for those who know
Uh-huh.
they make a decision based on certain criteria to use. Like
Yes.
in your case, you're using GCP. Some people
Mhm.
may use Amazon, others may use Azure, Microsoft. Which cloud? How do you decide which one to use? It based on cost, based on tools availability, or based on the technology? What do you take into consideration?
So I would say personally, if anybody is trying to choose which particular cloud service provider they want to choose, ultimately comes to what kind of cost they want to put up and what kind of service that they want to offer
Right.
on it. So if you compare like these services, let's say you do have, if you go for like AWS, you have like S3 buckets that are a bit more cheaper
Right.
comparative to other services. If
Hmm.
it's a more data, uh, uh, it's a data intensive task, and you're
Right.
going to store a lot of data on your cloud. So I might take a AWS call on that, because it gives you a longer run charges on storing
Right.
and backups and like creating it. If I want more, I would say a GenAI related infrastructure and stuff, or even if I want to seamlessly integrate, I would say Databricks into my solutions and
Hmm.
stuff. So then I could go for Azure. Azure has
Right.
a lot of those kind of capabilities built in. And
So
if you're coming for GCP is also has loaded with features. You have a inbuilt amazing public subscriber model that is built in GCP that gives
Right.
out of box integration when you're going for any live public subscriber models or like systems that you're trying to build.
So it's based on maybe services and technology that you're going to choose
Yes.
what
So,
you want to
what
do.
kind
Okay.
of services that your business is going to you will be
Implement.
utilizing, and you can check like what kind of services that are provided on that particular cloud provider, and what's
Right.
the cost right now, and what would be the cost for that in the longer run. So you could basically simulate a run on it and take a final call on that. And
Wow.
if you're partnering with any other cloud provider, also it's really good they do give you cloud provider discounts for your partnership would be also a wise idea when you consider
Wow.
it as a long-term usage.
Let's dive a little bit into a little bit more technical. Let's transition
Uh-huh.
into this technical as we go. There's been a lot of talk about AI and automation,
Right,
and there's been people worried, the people that are worried about losses and opportunities. Some people are kind of
right.
nervous about if they're going to have opportunities or opportunities are going to disappear.
Uh-huh.
Again, how did you get into building automation systems and large scale platforms? Like how do you get into that? We're going to talk a little bit more about this AI system, but how did you get into building automation systems for B2B Matrix?
So basically, when I was trying to join with B2B, they had this customers that had these problems that we discussed they were facing on. So we derived our solution or our product from their customer
Mm,
experience. So it was not just one customer. So since the company, we had a profound experience of close to like 20, 30
mm,
years. So we
yeah,
had a lot of, I would say, base of customer that
right,
had a constant headache with certain problems that we tried to group those in together and
right.
try to solve them and give them a more efficient solution. So that's how we started to come up with this kind of a solution for the customers and stuff. So that's how we
Wow.
started this whole thing for B
Wow.
metrics, I would say.
That's cool. That's cool. At the end, we'll talk a little bit again about B2B Matrix, their customer
Uh-huh.
base, your location, how you
Yeah,
could reach customers. But before then, let's talk a little bit about this automation and AI that is really crazy.
sure.
They say it's a bubble now and everything is going.
Yeah.
How has AI changed the way you design this automation system, and how does the outreach flow and the workflows like?
So
Yeah.
sure. So what things that we try to bring in is basically we try to streamline the repetitive task. We try to give insight on the customer data that basically they are missing or they want to create like a team for generating those reports or insights. So
Right.
we give them right away based upon the customer behavior, the customer usage pattern and stuff. And not just that, we don't stop there. We even try to give them any kind of like a user improvement or like a workflow improvement that they are doing recently
Mm-hmm.
that is costing them a lot, that by which they can save. Like let's say if I can just save a $5 a month, that's close to almost like a lot. I would say
Right.
in a span of 5 months, it's gonna be close to like $35, like $50. So
Right.
for like that's a lot of money that you're gonna be spending. So we try to give them like a optimized solution on those for the customers, and we don't just stop there. We try to natively integrate our systems onto their reporting sheets, let's say Excel sheets, Google sheets. So we try to integrate our systems onto their native solutions so they can function normally with their usual flow in some cases, and they can scale it to like a big operation. Let's say if
Right.
they manually do it, so the AI is would be integrated onto their reports that are using Excel and Google, and
Right.
that will integrate with their CRM and their pipeline or their funnel, and we would then scale that accordingly for them going forward. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. So there've been so many companies that I remember in the days of
yeah,
when cloud was in the nascent stage. A lot of
uh-huh.
companies were weary and nervous about adopting cloud technology. There were
Right,
questions like, where is our data being stored? Who is managing
right,
the data? Why do
right,
we have to store the data here? We don't know where this data is. People were companies
True.
were quite
True.
nervous in adopting cloud hosting and cloud technology.
True.
Today, we
Yeah.
kind of see that trend too with AI. Some
Mhm.
companies are nervous about integrating AI into their systems and maybe letting AI do things they don't know exactly what
Right.
to do. How do you kind of what's your take on that, and how do you get them to adopt or adapt to AI systems?
Right. So today, I would say the AIs have more data than what we are having personally. So AIs are like in a very extensive hunger for data today.
Right.
So basically, even whatever is available on internet, basically they can scrap the data out and they can feed it to their network right away when it's available. And
Right.
the models today are like very very matured enough, so
Right.
they give you solutions to problems that you won't even think it would be possible today.
Possible. Yeah.
So to before a couple of years back, I didn't had any kind of like an intelligent code editor. So you have
Right.
like almost now 30 to 40 different choices of intelligent code editors for you
Right.
to integrate and work seamlessly.
Right.
So coming to that particular point, integrating any kind of an AI without proper security governance, proper security, I would say, systems gets really risky because the AI is basically it's a prompting engine.
Right.
So it gives based upon your prompt whatever the data the user is requesting. It also kind of, I would say, we were discussing this recently with few of the people, like the new era of security social injection, like new
Hmm.
era of social security injection, or like new era of SQL injections. So we were talking
Right.
because you don't know, because since you're writing so many functions for your AI related things,
Yeah.
and it has like billions of parameters,
Hmm.
billions to billions of parameters, it's still growing. It's gonna be even trillions by I think most by end of next year,
Right.
it would be even close to be
The
trillions of
models, the
parameter
models
functions.
are getting smarter and smarter and smarter on a daily
Yes,
basis. I
yes.
mean, every month there's a
So
new model which is
exactly,
smarter and three times smarter than the
exactly.
previous one. So
True.
I know there's going to be this a sacrifice and a risk here. Companies are like, should we
Right.
adopt? Should we not adopt? I remember the golden age of Google when Google equally came on
Yeah.
board. Companies
Right.
were nervous about letting Google be on their platforms. Like, how do we get
Right.
people can Google something, and they were blocking the
Right.
sites. Today is the era of the AI. I
Yeah. True.
recently I watched the interview of the Nvidia CEO, and he was like, I
CEO.
use all
Yeah.
these models. I use them at work. I use them to do stuff. But some CEOs are still nervous. They don't want their employees to
Right.
use it
True.
because of that risk. So how do you get it to be adopted? Like, your business seems to be based on AI and automation and integrating
Right.
these AI tools, but
Right.
companies are still finding it hard to come along to getting this done. So how do you get them? How do you convince them to know, well, there are things? Do you have to put guardrails or convince them that you're going to put in guardrails to based on what they want to adopt or not adopt, things like that?
True.
How do you go
True.
about doing that?
True. So the problems that I am facing currently in such kind of scenarios are, see, especially systems are like that. There are few businesses that are using a very enterprise level systems that are not
Right.
even built to handle this AI related bubble or like
Hmm.
AI related trend. They're so complex, like integrating AI would be, they would also not know what would be the feedback of integrating an AI, because they would not know what the application is capable of exposing and what it's
Right.
been doing. So they will have a serious problem of trying to limit the AI to basically getting into, or like getting into reading it out, or like basically accessing the information
Their
also.
systems. Yeah.
Yeah, so but if you're building a new system, it would be more straightforward. You could put in more rules and places, like optimize it to
Guardrails. Yeah.
handle it better. But especially for like enterprise systems, it's very, very difficult, since they are not at all like built to handle such kind of, I would say, implementations like
Right.
on the go. So such kind of scenarios, what basically needs to be done is, so companies like for enterprise level, they could try to, since they have like a good infra, they do have like a really good, I would say, infra cloud, or even on-premise cloud. So they could settle up for an RAG build on
Hmm.
any kind of like a model that they pick up. So they could try to use their in-house team to create a RAG build model that is basically trying to have their own rules enforced on this
Right.
model, and it basically runs on their cloud platform provider. And
Hmm.
only for the information that they are allowing, it's going to be using the functions accordingly, and it's not going to expose any kind of like information very, very widely. So you could have a control on what data needs to be exposed for which level of user and stuff there.
Perfect. Wow, that's cool. So let's. I mean, so are there any specific? Let me say before I get to that, what part
Sure.
of outreach still requires human oversight despite the AI in your workflow? What are
Mhm.
the areas of human oversight? I know we put in AI, integrate AI, and everything. When it comes to
Right.
AI, what are the areas that still require human oversight?
Right. So normally in any business, like your business related operations, the overview of operations is needed to make sure you're gonna enter the right data, or you're gonna enter the data in the format or so.
Hmm.
So those kind of things can be handled by human intervention. Other than that, automating it, scheduling it, processing it. So most of this informations could be basically handled by AI very seamlessly.
Right, right.
So before AI, before the LLMs, NLP
Right.
was a big stream, I would say. Now LLMs have almost solved NLPs. They have replaced telecommunication centers today. They've
Yeah.
automated almost close to 80% of the telecommunication centers today. And not just that, the transcription things are like out of the box for a lot of, I would say, AI implementations
Hmm.
today. They can give you insights on your meetings, give you transcripts. They can even mail it to you. They can even
Yeah.
schedule a document. They can even create a follow-up document on your meeting transcript. So it's really surprising, like where we have pushed AI into like integrating into our systems today, I would say.
Wow. Yeah. It's there's a lot of integration going on. But are there
True.
any specific AI models or techniques you rely on within a B2B matrix, like in your tech stack? What are the models that really work for you?
So we specifically rely on Gemini. So we use Gemini as our core, and
All
we
right.
also use Claude and GPT-5 for few
Right.
other segregated operations. So when it comes to any kind of like a business processes, so we tend to see what would be the best suited model for the business, and what kind of implementation that we have created, which kind of a agent architecture that we've created would be suited for this particular business. So we recommend them to use like that. So it would be very easy for them to natively use them into your product. Because
Yeah.
and not just that, we also kind of provide on top of that their own integration, that if they want a customization, so we also do that as well.
Yeah, that's cool. We know it's been in the market trend now. Chat GPT 5.1,
Yeah.
OpenAI 5, and then Gemini and Cloud. They've been
Yes.
coming at the top. They've been competing at the top there.
Yeah.
Gemini just come out with
True.
3.0.
Yeah.
OpenAI came out with
Yeah,
5.1, and then there's
yeah.
Cloud there.
Claude is also amazing. I've been using
Yeah,
Claude for few of the
yeah,
things even.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's been also
I'm
amazing.
using them, and I'm trying to figure
Uh-huh.
out which one is best or what. Can you, given your experience, can you categorize them based on if you want to do this, go here. If you want to do this, go here. Sometimes I
Right.
use all of them, but so what's your take on that? Like these models? I know, to be honest, I think these are the three top models
Uh-huh.
that are coming up. There've
Right.
been others, but they are not yet measuring to this at this level yet. So
Right. So personally, for me, Claude has been really good in terms of like code generation. If
code
you need
generation.
any kind of code assistance or
Mhm.
so, Claude is an amazing tool for those. Not just that, if you're trying to if you need some assistance on any kind of like a more research level of I would say implementation, Claude has some amazing features on it
Mhm.
to help you develop such kind of implementations and stuff. Coming on to Gemini, Gemini is really good for any kind of like document processing. Like if it's a PDF text, uh,
Trying to
if you want to transcribe the PDF, if you want to transcribe few documents, The efficiency score over transcribing is really good on Gemini compared to other models. It's been transcripting documents very efficiently, and not just that, like you can still use it to generate a lot of insight out of the documents, and even like you can also create your own insight level documentation on it, and
Right.
it supports a lot of, I would say, those kind of capabilities
Mhm.
altogether. ChatGPT is it has an overall really good plugins built in. You have Codex for coding, you have
Yeah,
like
Codex.
Deep Research for research. So it has also some native implementation on top of it built for different tasks that you want to create. So yeah, like personally, I also use GPT a lot for even
Mhm.
my day-to-day task or even my day-to-day analysis and few of our stuffs also. But
Yeah, I
only thing
know.
you need to remember is like you need to be very conscious of what prompt that you're entering to get your results
Yeah,
out
yeah, the
of it.
prompts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know there's been some kind of talk about these things cannot be trusted. They are
yeah,
not reliable. They may not be right. So you have to
right.
take that into consideration before using any of these
True,
models or AI
true.
tools. So, and coming talking about that, so how do you maintain reliability in these systems? So many moving parts, email servers, API limits, scraping, enrichment, AI
Right.
generation. How do you maintain that they are actually reliable
Right. That's a
and
really interesting
secure?
question today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting question today. So we basically try to create this environments on a serverless front. So in terms of like giving this as a service, the customer has the upper hand on how much billing they want to control on it. So since we try to give them a more flexibility on those fronts, we even discuss with them like what kind of infra they want it to be deployed upon. So and their customer usage on that particular service to give them like this would work them like this particular cluster, and this would work better with our product. So we try to give them the tier of service that we try to integrate with
Hmm.
their products. They are sure, okay, I have this much of traffic and this much of user base, so I could go for this particular infrastructure that you guys are providing. So we try to pin them that first to give
Hmm.
them an idea, and if they want to scale, also we give them like ample of. I would say we give them no limit at all to scale their products. It's basically how they want to scale it as on their hand. We don't usually do put a limitation on that for sure. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. So, but let's say you as a developer, what are the
Uh-huh.
common technical mistakes companies make when trying to build their own automation or outreach systems? If
How
they
so?
decide to do it themselves, like you guys are providing this service, but if they decide to do
Yeah.
it themselves, what are some of the mistakes that you must have seen in the industry?
The thing
Do you
is
come
like
across anything, or because you're probably trying to fill up a gap out there and try to provide them a service? But sometimes
right,
they may say, "Oh, we could do this our own. We have access to ChatGPT. We have access
right,
to cloud or these."
right.
But again, what skill set? What are the mistakes they would certainly make because they don't have the experience and the skills?
So the thing is like today you can build any system. Building a system is pretty easy in the era of
Right,
AI, but not building a fault tolerant, reliable system is not everybody's game today.
right.
And not just that, we do have like developers and we do have like years of experience and like tuning in our service and systems, like basically fine tuning the output, trying to optimize it, trying to scale those up, trying to like see which works and which doesn't work. So even for companies that are starting out fresh today, it would take them like at least a year to like even to have like a really good product that they would feel that is operated on the scale that they want. So since we have done a lot of already the groundwork for this for a long term, like I would say like we do have like an advantage in this kind of like a situation, because any company that they want to do, they would have to put up a team and hire experts on it to basically train them out, let them understand the business much better, and then basically build it out. So it's going to take a while, and it's very time consuming. If let's say end of the day, all that matters is how efficient is that system is solving this problem.
Right.
If it's not solving even the 50% of the problem that they have invested so much over a year to solve it, then it's going to be a really
it's not
problem,
worth
I
it.
would
Yeah,
say.
it's
It's
not
not
worth it.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But many small business, to be honest with you, I know when we talk about AI and automation, we look at some of these big companies like Google,
Right.
Apple, Amazon, things like that. But the
Right.
real impact of AI comes down to small and medium-sized business, the level of
True.
adoption, right? So, but
Right.
many of them don't have developers. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge for them when adopting these automation systems or this adopting automation?
Right, true. So when you go for like any kind of like small companies, so they mostly try to build the products, not just like focus on AI right away, but if they're AI focused business, they do try to incorporate this kind of side into it. So I would personally recommend people to learn a bit more on AI related technologies,
Right,
how do they want to integrate that into their system, and not just that. Today, any kind of role that you are or like performing is needing an AI, even if it's you are a business analyst, even if you're a project
right,
manager, even if you're CEO of a company, so you would require to use some part of AI in your day-to-day basis for sure,
for
in any
sure.
kind of like role. I would recommend is like try to learn on the prompt engineering,
Hmm.
try to learn about how it is working, try to get to learn about like, so there are a lot of repos available, like GCP released their agentic integration toolkit, I think couple of months back, so that is like freely available, you can have a look at it. Even langchain
Hmm. Right,
framework is free. You can just connect it with any kind of model, any LLM. You can use that framework very easily and have an idea of how to do it. And it's just like I would say, apart from basically doing your day-to-day work, trying to learn this new technology that is basically becoming tomorrow's biggest
because yeah.
advantage, yeah,
Hmm.
is very essential, I would say.
No, you're right. So we do have something in house. We call it Smart Office AI Assistant, and we do
Right,
AI workflow service that we do
right.
at Every Brain AI. But that's something. Also, the small businesses will have to depend on companies like us, people who can serve small businesses, help them adopt this
Mhm.
technology. It's going to
Right.
help them, but we could talk about that and see. So what we do is we help small businesses adopt AI systems, right, down the line, and
Right.
we collaborate with companies like yours to help them
Uh-huh.
adopt this technology.
Got it.
Let's go a little bit deeper here. And let maybe one just in brief as we round up.
Uh-huh.
If a company had to automate one system, what would that system be? Like, if let's say in the age of AI today, if you had to automate
Uh-huh.
just one thing, what would that be?
So personally, for me, if they want to automate any of their system, I would prefer automating their business requirement pipeline, I would say today,
Yeah,
because everywhere it's people get on a call, they discuss about the business, they try to agree on few terms and condition, and then they try to document it and then streamline it and cascade it to developers, and it's like sprint to sprint, there is a lot of stories, there is a lot of tracking,
right, right.
and you track the efficiency and stuff, but you are nowhere near their whole product idea, product picture, and you have no idea how the product has been, if it's on track, if it's
Hmm.
deviated, or you building the same product from your roadmap, if it's changed or if it's evolved. So there is no way of tracking such kind of changes today in traditional, I would say, business infra. So you
Right,
do go on, keep on creating like sprints, tickets based upon your business requirement, and you do keep on iterating on it, but there is no common, I would say, way to track all these changes
right,
seamlessly. And the main thing that you do is like when you do such kind of things is it's a very big headache to document all these changes.
right,
So on the
right.
business level, so end of the day, they would solve the business problem, but they would nowhere have a really good documentation that they would
Documentation
say,
of it.
okay, that is what the current system is using. So trying to involve AI on the business process and trying to streamline it would be my suggestion in a lot of businesses today.
Oh, that's good. As a senior developer, lead developer, this is very important for juniors. Like, what
Right.
skills does a developer need today to thrive in this AI heavy world? Like, what are the
Right.
skills you think they are key to junior developers to thrive?
So personally, I'm not a big fan of like a particular language or so. So I personally tend to encourage people to learn the basic programming coding standards. Like, how do you want to implement a particular solid, like let's say I want to
Maybe
use a particular design pattern or particular coding
the
style or
architecture, yeah?
pattern, architecture pattern. So try to familiarize with such kind of patterns and try to do like a hands-on around it. Any programming language would be good. Like personally, we use a lot of Python. We use a lot of Go for our day-to-day task and stuff. But any programming language is pretty good on its own for you to like start it right away. And not just that, try to learn more on like a lot of ML related algorithms and stuff
Right,
to try to understand how evolved is LLM is. So straight away jumping to LLM, you would feel you're completely lost on it. So before
right.
trying to go to any kind of like language models or even any kind of like spatial models, try to get your basics on like ML and like operations. Let's say try to learn more on like what is a supervised model, what is this SVM, how do I do run a neural network. Try
Right.
to read more on those background, and then you can go into the new latest trend that is happening to get a more brief idea on it. I would personally recommend that.
Engineering. But let's wrap up. Yeah, but before wrap up, where can people follow your work on Beat or B2B Matrix updates?
So we are trying to organize a blog and about B2B Matrix page. So we are trying to publish few blogs on our projects that we have done and stuff. So that is in still progress. So definitely keep posted on that. So
Right,
I do I do try to post on my blog post. I do have like an active GitHub link that I try
right.
to post that I can share it with the people that on my contributions and stuff that I do regularly. And
Mm-hmm.
I do try to create a blog post on the trends that we do as we go and as we develop new things accordingly. So I could do that. So you could follow up on those. Yeah,
Wow,
sure.
that's cool. So, any final advice for businesses trying to scale using automation and AI?
So today, basically, I would suggest them to kind of not just create a working solution for the AI workflow, try to set up some reports, some insights around the workflow, and document your workflows to see how it is performing on the longer run. So, and not just like solve it for your quick business requirement as of now.
Mhm.
Think ahead on seeing like what this flow would be for our business for like down the line for like 3 years or 5 years or so, how beneficial it would be for us on a longer
Right.
run. And yeah, try to adopt as much as new standards as possible in your quality, even if it's project related or even if it's coding related or even business related or so. Yeah. And always never be shy to experiment anything of
Try
new,
things.
I would say, in your business. Yeah.
So, wow, that's been Ajee Ibraheim from B2B Matrix, and was quite nice to have you here. Final thoughts. Let's say, what's your operating area? Where their clients come from? Do you offer your services to a specific area of the world, all over the world, just in North America? What are the areas that you cover in case maybe some
So
customers want to reach out?
currently, our clients are more from US, but we do have clients from other ethnicities as well. Like we do have few clients from Europe, UK, and recently from India also. But our main focus were on two companies that are like more like US based. So our team
Right.
mainly operates on US, and there are few more people that are in India and Europe as well. So we are basically a very developing team as of now, and we do proactively try to solve problems of people like proactively across different time zones and try to coordinate with them.
Wow. Wow. It's Ajay. Thank you very much having you here. It's been great having you, and hope to see you again. I'm going to invite you again next time. We're going to talk about how the company has been growing,
Sure.
and hope to talk to you again next time. Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.